Hey guys, this is Pineapple, and today we're going to be talking about the different power levels amongst the different evil spirits in Mob Psycho 100. I'm mainly going to be focusing on some of the spirits that we found in episode 2 of the anime, so please be caught up, but if you aren't, that's fine because I'm also going to be talking about the backstory of the main spirit that we'll be talking about in this video. Instead of just doing videos recapping most of the episode each week, let me know if you guys enjoy videos like these where I take something from the episode like the spirit or a theme and do a deep dive on it. The Mob Psycho and Neverland videos are my way of experimenting with stuff that I'll eventually bring to the My Hero side of things. So any feedback you guys have for me about these videos helps out everybody. If you want to know when videos are coming though, subscribe or follow me on Twitter at VocalPineapple. That's my official Twitter. You can find me. I'm always tweeting on there. And now that that's out of the way, let's get into this psychic action. Hit it! Mob Psycho is back, and the first episode was a critical success from what I could see online, but there was a small bit of murmuring in the community that some of the action was lackluster. Well, of course people would be a little annoyed because the series is hyped up as this animation showcase, and we came back on an episode all about learning to emphasize and mob questioning and learning new things. But this week we'll be seeing something else that Mob Psycho certainly loves to delve into. This week, we are going to get a healthy serving of those horror vibes thanks to the evil spirit on the block for exercising this week. Before I talk about this specific spirit, I want to talk about the power levels between the different spirits. You see, we've noticed that some of the spirits are stronger than others, and usually that has to do with the age of the spirit or the power of the negative emotions surrounding that spirit or a particular event. In Mob's world, you could say that a person who died with tons of regrets and anger could turn into a normal evil spirit, whereas an Esper who dies with regrets and lots of negative emotions would probably turn into a more powerful spirit. Well, there are also demons that spawn because of the fear or negative emotions that build up in a town or area. This means that the public's gathered up emotions or thoughts about something can make it real in this universe, and this means that urban legends and stuff like that can actually form as spirits or evil spirits. In Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 Episode 2, we see some fellow psychics trying to take on an urban legend level spirit, the Kuchisake Onna. If you didn't know, a lot of creatures that get exercised in Mob Psycho actually have roots in real-world Japanese pop culture and mythology. In Japan, there are tons of urban legends about all sorts of morbid ghosts that are associated with all sorts of activities and have all sorts of complicated stories and mechanisms. Kuchisake Onna is one such spirit, and her name translates to slit-mouth woman. Here is Kuchisake Onna's full story for those of you that are interested in knowing more about the spirit, and I'll even read it sort of dramatically since the show sort of goes into her information, but it isn't quite as detailed as we get to be here. So, according to the Wikipedia page, the modern telling of the story is that Kuchisake Onna was originally a fair young woman. The woman was beautiful and fell in love with a man, and her life was fairly happy until she began to age and her husband paid her less and less attention. She went mad over the notion of remaining beautiful, and eventually, due to unknown events, she was then mutilated by her husband. She comes back as a spirit with her mouth covered in a mask or some sort of fan. She approaches her victim and she asks them if they find her pretty. If they say yes, she removes her mask, revealing her disgusting form. Her mouth is this wet and disgusting gash that goes from one side of her face to the other. With the disgusting, pus and teeth-riddled valley of flesh across her face revealed, she asks the victim again in a cute voice, "Am I pretty?" If the victim screams or answers yes again, then the Kuchisake Onna will remove a pair of rusty and dull scissors or a blade from her satchel. In some stories, she even just dances around with her weapon of choice, bloody and rusty, in her hand, while her twisted figure approaches unsuspecting victims of the night. Regardless if the victim screams or answers yes again, the Kuchisake Onna will use her sharp weapon to slash their face ear to ear, giving them a huge bloody smile that of course matches hers. You'd think that the trick here would be to say no, But Japanese folklore isn't that forgiving. If you say no, she'll walk away from you and follow you home. Once you arrive home, she'll murder you at some point in the night, and it'll be as brutal as can be. Another modern telling of the story says that Kuchisake Onna will kill you with scissors if you tell her that she's not pretty before she takes her mask off. But if you tell her that she's not pretty after she does, she'll cut you in half. The most commonly told version of the story goes as followed. Kuchisake Onna, as told commonly, was a beautiful young woman that lived in a village of Japan. She would roam around the village and ask the folks, "Am I pretty?" To which they would reply with an enthusiastic yes. This made her very confident in herself, and as she was married to an intelligent samurai, she believed that she would be able to get away with an affair with a noble soldier. But her husband found out, and in anger asked the soldier, "Why her? Why my lady rather than all the women of the village?" To which he replied, "For she is the most beautiful of the village. I cannot pass up on such an opportunity." The samurai adored his honesty and acknowledged that he had the right response and reason. The soldier was poor after all, and had not had many positive things occur in his life. Although the soldier had proper intentions, the samurai's wife did not. She was the most beautiful woman of the village, and without that, she'd be nothing. The samurai angrily took his sword upon her face and slit her mouth from ear to ear, making her no longer beautiful. Soon after, she killed herself and was banished to eternity of avenging her own pain. So now that you know how much backstory and how much hoopla there is about this legend, you can see why she gave other exorcists such a problem. She actually does introduce something to the series that's fairly important, and it's the requirement for certain spirits to be defeated. Every other evil spirit in the series has been defeated just by Mob exorcising it. But with the Kuchisake Onna, things were different because only Mob could defeat it because he was unaware of the legend behind the spirit. Basically, because Mob didn't grow up hearing the story of the Kuchisake Onna, he was immune to the spirit because the spirit's power came from the power of people's belief in it. So with this, we have normal evil spirits, which are probably just people that die during, horrific events and whatnot with negative emotions or regrets. We have powerful evil spirits, which are people that die in more horrific ways or have more regrets, or maybe they die with, Esper powers or Esper abilities or latent psychic abilities. We have urban legends, which are beings that basically form because of the various different things that people think or the various different fears that gather up. It's kind of like how well, that's a Persona 5 spoiler, so I guess I wouldn't talk about that. But yes, it's kind of like Persona 5. And on top of all of those, we have high-class evil spirits like Wriggle Wriggle in episode 1 of the season. Now, I'd say that high-class evil spirits are stronger than urban legend evil spirits, just because Wriggle Wriggle was actually able to control life by controlling the vines and plant life on his farm. And Kuchisake Onna was sort of just a powerful spirit with some cool abilities and one very powerful invulnerability. I think you could argue that the requirement for Kuchisake Onna puts it over Wriggle Wriggle, but that's an argument that could go either way. No matter what, Kuchisake Onna is the most dangerous spirit to be introduced so far, because the notion that some evil spirits have certain requirements for you to be able to battle with them or even exorcise them introduces the thought that there may be a spirit that Mob can't exorcise. What if an urban legend appeared that he was affected by, and who would be able to take it down if not him? I think this presents a really important opportunity for the future, but it also foreshadows some of this season's other events. Soon, Mob and the others will face their most powerful enemies so far, so make sure you're checking back here week to week to get breakdowns and little cool deep dive videos like this one, where we talk about some of the stuff that you might miss. If you enjoyed this video or learned anything new about the Kuchisake Onna spirit, then hit that like button. If you want me to do more videos about the urban legends or evil spirits in Mob Psycho 100 and maybe retell their origin stories with my weirdly, cringy deep voice, then let me know, since I think it'd be a lot of fun to do so. If you want to see more of my videos, remember that you can always subscribe, and if you want to get notified when I upload, you can click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to join my League of Notifications, who are going to be the first ones to see the design for my first official piece of merch coming soon. For now, I'm going to go work on the video that's going to go along with that merch, and I've got to catch up on some Critical Role. So I'll see you guys soon. That's not a hint, by the way. This is Pineapple. Peace.